leadership camp at Acer Farm. We bring together kids from the United States, from Israel, from Palestine, from the greater Jerusalem area and beyond, going from 3 families to 1 family. From Palestinians and Israelis and Americans, from Christians, Muslims, Jews, to 1 family. 1 family of leaders who are committed to peace, committed to changing their world, and committed to each other.
Having a leadership camp has been a dream that we had had for a long time. Kids for Peace began as an effort just with 12-year-old kids to bring them together at a young age. And after we did those initial summer camps, we had a sense that there needed to be something more, that to really affect change in Israel-Palestine, we needed to support these youth over a longer period of time. Not just having them meet each other, not just building a community, but also equipping them with the skills that they need to be able to make change in the places where they are.
We go through our daily lives and there's a lot of talking about doing things, and certainly this is a huge topic of conversation, and this is a way to actually do something.
It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it to me because everything I invest in it, I get back. This is my heart and home. I want that. I want this camp to work.
We're trying to reach the most difficult neighborhoods, the neighborhoods where kids might grow up to be terrorists, might grow up to be people recruited into violence, and to give them another path, another alternative for their lives.
I think what's at stake is we can't afford to let them down again. We need to continue this. We need to grow this.
Okay, because we're sharing to learn, we're not sharing to judge. Maybe they said something you just don't understand. Well, when did that happen? Or who was there when that happened? Or could you tell me a little bit more about this?
There is war between Arabs and Jews. Israel was facing about 5 armies. They gave them weapons and tried to help them kick out the Jews. We had no home to come back to.
I mean, the way I was told, the Israeli army was way stronger than the Palestinian army, and they killed a lot of people and they evacuated by force. You know, I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate your point of view in the end. Say that, and I appreciate your point of view in the end.
They've been told one thing, and they've been told another. We can understand them more, and they can understand us more.
I think conflict just happens simply when 2 people have opposing views on something that one or the other does.
That's what sometimes what can get people into conflicts, is that they don't like that others are stronger than them and they want to put them down.
Getting kind of sucked into your ego and feeling that you're the powerful one and that you're the one that's always right, and getting stuck on that.
Like a lot of sides looking at the same thing, but the problem is like each side looks at it differently.
2 sides have a bad attitude and no one is willing to give up to their what they're thinking and compromise, and they're like 2 fires, and they're fighting fire with fire and creating a bigger fire.
Any family has its agreements and disagreements, yet there's a pervasive love that exists, and I think in this environment there needs to be a respect that if you and I differ on some aspect, we agree to disagree on that point, but we look beyond that into the bigger picture about how we can move forward together. And my sense is that it's good you get into these difficult discussions, because change isn't going to happen unless you get the issues, the facts, and the opinions on the table.
I come from a background where they don't really want peace. Me and my family, we believe that no one's leaving, they're both staying. Then what's the point of just ignoring their existence? We have to cooperate. You just can't ignore it.
I've learned that conflict isn't necessarily a bad thing. Conflict is normal, conflict is healthy, but violence isn't. How you deal with conflict, that's what really matters.
misinterpretation of religious dogma keeps people apart. This camp is all about turning that around, to changing that paradigm in the hearts and minds of these young people.
I stand here today as a witness of what can happen when a group of people let their light shine despite the odds. My people are witness to that. My people are no different than your people. You all have the potential to change the world, but you first have to change yourself. And once you change yourself, you can change the community. You set the rhythm. You set the tone for the world to change.
You can see transformation happening because we've been working for so long with these children, and the transformation I can see in these 2 weeks it could be equivalent to the transformation I can see in them in whole year of working together. So it's unique. The camp itself is something very, very powerful.
Mary and Roy, in earlier discussions, really were having difficulty communicating and listening to each other's pain and feeling listened to. And we put them together in this project group, and they've just blossomed together. Their attitudes towards each other and their ability to discuss the conflict has just been extraordinary to watch. And I think they're going to serve as a real example to the rest of the group.
Yeah. You know, these young people, they can't declare peace. That's not in their power. Maybe one day, we hope it will be. But what they can do now is lay the human and spiritual foundation for that. Peace with our neighbor, peace with ourself, peace with our God.
As I was taught, Christianity is all about loving your enemy and having peace with them, forgiving. Whenever I feel like I hold a grudge against someone, I just remember these words, like make them ring in my ear and remind me.
It really helps me, and I'm really proud to be a Muslim because all the things that I do just makes me believe more in myself and more in my community that are all Muslims.
This is who I am. This is what makes me, me, myself, my faith, that I am a Jew, and I'm proud to be Jew.
We're confident that we have the blessing of God in this, and we're confident because of the response we get. We can all make smaller steps, whether that's supporting through donation, coming to volunteer at the camp, to be presenters and teachers here. There's a lot of opportunity, and for those who make the step, they too find their lives transformed by this encounter with the Middle East.